Alright, what's good YouTube, it's Jay here. So the title of this video is not clickbait. Today's topic is going to be transparency. Transparency is the #1 thing that can pretty much save any game or game developer from looking like a total piece of garbage if their game comes out as a total piece of garbage. Cough cough, Modern Warfare 2. Transparency is the #1 thing that pretty much all gamers ask for when it comes to these developers. They want a better understanding of why they make certain design choices. They also want the developer to listen. We're going to talk about a little bit of that today with all of the new updates coming out for Modern Warfare 3 and Sledgehammer Games. So I've been highly advocating for Sledgehammer for a while because of the fact that between them, Infinity Ward and Treyarch, well, Treyarch really doesn't count because they're also very transparent, but compared to Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer is significantly more of a transparent and open to changes company, pretty much. They don't have a problem usually with changing the game or making adjustments to it if there's something that the community just does not like. And we'll use Vanguard as an example for this. Call of Duty Vanguard was arguably one of the most disliked Call of Duties of all time. But we're talking about the fact that when the beta for Vanguard came out, there were things missing like red dots on the minimap and dead silence as a perk. When the full game of Vanguard came out, they added red dots on the minimap and dead silence as a perk. In comparison to the MW2 beta, people loved having red dots on the minimap because it's a staple feature in Call of Duty, and they removed it for the final release of the game, including just outright removing it from even it being in private lobbies. They literally took it out of private lobbies, competitive lobbies. If you go into those settings, you'll even notice that the only options you have are UAVs on all the time. That's it. They took them out completely because they did not want people to play the game without red dots on the minimap for some reason. I don't understand why. Their transparency is the one thing that I love, and we'll go into a bunch of different things today because there's so much information. Shout out Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone and all the other people, Jacob, for compiling all of this information and making it a little bit easier. There are a lot of questions circulating the newly revealed like UI for Modern Warfare 3. Let me go find it. A lot of people have been wondering why there are like blue elements for the UI for Modern Warfare 3 when the game's like primary colors and presented colors are all red. So Ben Furno over here, Ben Furno, I think that's how you pronounce that, has been super transparent. He is the UI or the design and UI director on Modern Warfare 3 at Sledgehammer Games. He tweeted out that the reason why they're going with these particular colors, now this is a very minimal thing, I know, like it doesn't mean that they're 110% going to listen to every single design question, change, whatever. But this is still more transparent, at least behind the design philosophy of something in the game than Infinity Ward was throughout the entirety of the year. And if they were transparent, it was usually, well, we want the campers to have more fun, which was whatever. But anyway, so Ben Furno tweeted, "Now that you've seen the AMP Intel drop, welcome to my Why Blue TED Talk. Firstly, it's blue tinted glass. Second, red is a bit of a problematic color to build a UI around. It makes it very hard to communicate any meaning with color when everything is screaming stop, because red is usually a don't do this kind of color." Which is fair, like it's a don't do this. You look at it like a stoplight or a stop sign, you don't go forward, you stop moving. So that's a very fair reason. Red is 100% the tonal identity for MW3, so instead we brought MW3's identity throughout our interface in ways you'll see soon, including some really dope environments. As for the UI, ultimately paying homage to MW's heritage felt right, and we landed on the blue glass. So if you don't remember, MW19 had this really blue glint to it or coloring to it. The classic MWs really didn't have a blue identity, they were more green than anything, but the modern MWs had this really bluish tint to them, and honestly I think blue looks better than the ugly ass green we have for MW2, but I'm just being a hater. It's dark, gritty, high-tech, Milsim inspired, and highly animated. Can't wait for you to see more of it this week and the rest of November. We're super proud of it. That's definitely more insider information on why they made a certain choice than IW probably would ever put out. It would mostly likely have been, well, we like this decision and ultimately we're going to stick with it. That's usually how they go with their ideas. They don't say much other than we're just gonna do it like this, and too bad, so sad. News: Activision says DMZ beta will continue to be supported within the Modern Warfare 2 Warzone experiences, playable on the maps as it's already available, but it looks like it won't be a part of the MW3 Warzone. So for the DMZ lovers out there, I hate to break it to you, but I think DMZ is probably getting left behind. Although DMZ won't be showcased at COD Next, which also is just another clarifying factor that it's not gonna be supported really like that. We're excited to share that we will continue to support the DMZ beta. It's still in beta for some reason. I don't know if it was Modern Warfare or Modern Warzone or Charlie Intel that tweeted out, but the moment DMZ started adding pay-to-win bundles, you know, the ones that added like extra perks or slots or armor slots or character slots or whatever, it was just kind of like a very obvious thing that they're not going to care about this at some point or another. Players will have continuing infiltration opportunities for Al Mazrah, Ashika, Vondel, as well as Building 21 and Koshki Complex. That being said, that makes me wonder, will we still be able to mess around on Ashika and Vondel in MW3 MW3? Because I know these are MW2 experiences, but maybe they mean this because these are MW2 maps. I don't know. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to the beta. I mean, it's probably gonna die at this point. There's better movement, so Sledgehammer is 110% confirming that there is better movement compared to Modern Warfare 2. The Modern Warfare 3 reveal trailer is coming Tuesday at 7 a.m. PT, so that's 10 a.m. my time. Wow, that's early. The Modern Warfare Gunsmith UI has a detailed stats button. Why did they remove this in MW2? I know a lot of people are really memeing on MW3 for bringing back basic features, but I still think we really need to have a long talk about why did MW2 just remove them altogether. People seem to forget that all these developer studios still do things differently from one another. While they might be under the Call of Duty banner, it doesn't mean that they all just come up with this idea that they're gonna do X thing and then bring X thing back. Like, every studio is different. IW has been doing weird stuff since MW19, and all the other developers have been doing almost normal things, save for IW. I'm glad we're getting this back. Now, this is the part that we all need to sit down and listen to, is the aftermarket parts idea. It's kind of like operator mods from Black Ops 4. It's kind of like this. So let's listen to this.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, we've added a new way to customize your weapons, aftermarket parts.
Okay. I've looked at it, but we're gonna just
aftermarket
rewatch
parts
it.
Are a new option within Gunsmith.
A way for players to come back to a weapon that they may have already mastered or played out, and it's going to give them an entirely new dimension to interact with the gun in a way that regular attachments can't.
So what I find interesting about this, when you put this conversion kit on, it gives you an entirely new set of like attachment like options. One thing I also noticed too is that the like conversion kit seems to count as an additional attachment, because I don't see any other attachments on here. So you get the conversion kit and then one of four other additional attachments that will be, I don't know, like maybe some additional like magazines, muzzles. I don't know why I'm reading it like that. This is the default screen, I think. Or wait, no, let's see. So this is a default screen, and then the conversion kit is its own attachment. So it makes me wonder, will you have to unlock additional things? Like, does this make it an entirely separate gun that you can unlock additional attachments for, like through challenges and stuff? Or is it going to be just an additional attachment? I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
The regular attachments can't. Think of them as remixes for the guns.
Wait, say that again?
Can't. Think of an entirely new dimension to interact with the gun in a way that regular attachments can't.
Okay.
Think of them as remixes for the guns.
That's actually really cool.
The easiest way to say it is they're nearly a new gun. They are powerful, meaningful changes to these weapons. Caliber, the way that they fire, both rate of fire, as well as potentially the fire type.
I'm all down for customization that gives me additional like build ideas for the gun. Tuning didn't do it for me. It just made the gun maybe feel 5% better. Most people didn't even really use it. I'm all for a way of changing up the gun and making it a little bit more unique versus just another weird mechanic where it barely improves the viability of the gun or changes some stats maybe. Like, this basically opens up opportunities for entirely new weapons without completely adding new weapons to the game. At least that's how it sounds.
One of our heaviest light machine guns in the game have a conversion kit that turns it into a bullpup, which greatly shortens the configuration of the gun and makes it so that you can really run and gun with it. You can spray from the hip, you can sprint out way faster than you could with this much longer, heavier version of the weapon. Aftermarket parts really aspire to just be fun. We want some of them to be just absolute oddballs that players are completely caught off guard by and want to get in there for just the sheer spectacle.
Oh, so that's dual wield Uzis, that's dual wield SMGs right there.
Of it. It's going to expand playstyles dramatically. We've put a lot into aftermarket parts, and we are so excited for the community to get their hands on them.
I think that's a cool way of approaching the whole attachment situation. Now, tuning is apparently going to be returning. You can see the tuning icon on some of the weapons. I don't remember what screenshot it was, but it's just cool to me that you can basically convert the gun into an entirely new gun pretty much. I think they tried to do that in MW2, but they weren't sure really how to go about it. I remember the whole weapon vault thing. It just didn't seem like they knew what they were doing with that. They did too much with no real direction. There's just so many useless features, like the whole family tree and swapping attachments with each other thing. Like, it never really amounted to anything at the end of the day, because the way they made it sound more unique than it actually was. Like, yeah, you have multiple AKs within the same tree that can all share the same attachments, and they give you the ability to just instantly put the attachments of one gun on the other, but that's really not that special. We could just go to that attachment slot and just scroll to find the attachment. They made it sound cooler than what it was. That could be the case for this, but at least it sounds like there's some actual direction with this. So there's the tuning icon right there that people were talking talking about. So yeah, tuning is in fact going to be returning. I wonder if they'll turn it off. Like some people thought maybe they'll turn it off after the beta, just like they did, or like how Infinity Ward did with red dots on the minimap. Maybe there's a button they could just flip and hey, tuning's off now. This is the part that I think people are going to love the most. The new Gunsmith is bringing additional innovations to the overall weapon systems. These include more shared attachments and the removal of certain penalties when equipping small optics. So if you don't know, in MW2, you put a red dot on, it just slows your ADS speed down drastically. You put a sight on, it just drastically slows your ADS speed down. Like it's like 10 or 20 pounds or something. Sights are not that heavy on most guns. I never liked that. It made the guns just feel slow, sluggish, and just terrible universally. For new Modern Warfare 3 weapons, attachments such as grips, barrels, magazines, and stocks will no longer require players to use a specific weapon after they've already been unlocked for another one. So for example, the assault stock attachment is available for both the AMR-9 SMG at level 8 and the Riveter shotgun at level 12. If your AMR-9 has already progressed to level 8 or higher, the stock will be available immediately on the Riveter and vice versa. So you don't have to unlock it twice. You don't have to use a specific gun to get an attachment, basically. It'll probably be better to see it in person, but I like that. I like that you don't have to do that, man. So while they share attachments, you won't have to go through out of your way to unlock said attachment, basically, again, or attachment slot, I guess. Maybe the attachment itself. We gotta wait and see how that's gonna work. One times optics attachment, as opposed to their counterparts in MW2. That just sounds like such a dig at IW. New one-time zoom optic attachments will no longer penalize your operator's aim down sight speeds, allowing faster target acquisition when using these sights. I mean, it's not rocket science. Why the hell wasn't it like that from the jump with MW2? But again, IW does things differently, and I just don't understand their decision making as to why they do things so differently. Universally, all of this sounds phenomenal. I'm excited to see what the next MW is going to bring. I'm excited for COD next. I wish I could either be there or actually stream it on that day. I'm going to try to find some kind of workaround and make it work, man. But that's just too important of a day to really just miss out on. Let me know what you guys think about MW3 and all these new reveals and pieces of information. We're going to have a lot more to learn about at COD next. Again, I think Sledgehammer, Treyarch, they both like to listen to their communities and actually try to come up with interesting ideas for their games versus IW just making their games just weird. Squad spawns, just weird, overly large maps, just weird decisions with the gameplay, movement, red dots, you name it. I'm willing to give it a shot though. I'm willing to see what this brings and I'm excited. So let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, guys. And this has been Jay the Gamer. I'll see you later. Peace.